Hello, I'm Dave Hawkins at Viewpoint AI. This is one of a set of videos that walk through the Keiretsu due diligence framework. This framework is configurable to match each due diligence process. The framework contains 4 apps that are accessible from a web browser. Company Information app, an app for collecting team comments, questions, and the company responses, due diligence report for investors, and an admin tool. So why use a due diligence framework? We're aiming to support an efficient use of the due diligence team and the company management effort. The framework helps ensure a very quick due diligence process, which saves everybody's time. It collects high-value insight and information for investors, and it makes collaboration easy. Keiretsu Forum administers a dedicated workspace on the Viewpoint AI platform. This workspace contains due diligence frameworks, one framework per due diligence process. Frameworks are created by copying a due diligence template that's maintained by Keiretsu staff. The framework acts as a starting place for the due diligence team, but is easily configured to match the team's requirements. Each DD framework contains 4 apps: an admin app that's used by the team lead, a company input form, another app for collecting team comments, and a due diligence report. The admin app is used by the DD team lead to administer team permissions, manage versions of the due diligence report, organize the due diligence framework and the data room sections, and manage team viewpoints and their comments. Team Permissions tab manages the framework users. Use the plus button on the top ribbon to add members to the team. By default, new users will not be able to administer the framework, but will have full permissions to edit contents and comments. You can select a user to add permissions or take them away if you want, and company management will have a user account as well. The DD Report Versions tab is used to administer versions of the due diligence report. It's best practice to make a new or backup version before making any major update. You use the duplicate button in the top ribbon to make a copy of an existing report as your backup. New questions can be added to the framework as the due diligence process unfolds. The Questions and Evaluation Factors tab allows the due diligence team lead to arrange and edit the DD framework questions and to structure the data room contents. To add one or more questions, select a DD framework section group as shown and press the Add Factor to Group button. Make sure to create a rich text factor as shown in the dialog. The Viewpoint AI supports other types of factors like images, which aren't really useful for this kind of framework. If needed, limit the size of the responses using the valid number of characters dialog. The DD Team Viewpoints tab is used to administer the viewpoints that are created when each user registers on the system for this framework. The viewpoint is automatically created when they first access the Team Comments app. There are also 2 status viewpoints that are used to record the progress of the DD process. The first one is used to record the company's response, how far along they are in responding to the questions, and the second is used by the DD team itself to monitor their process. Company Input tab is an online forum for collecting company answers to due diligence team questions. New questions are added as the due diligence process progresses, and this provides an online data room as well. Company can hyperlink to other content so they don't have to duplicate material that they already have in other online resources. The submission status column acts as a to-do list for the company and to sort of monitor their status with the due diligence team. DD Team Comments app is used to identify and resolve issues with the company. Comments are summarized in the DT framework summaries for each section. Important comment details are summarized in the reasons to invest and risks and mitigation sections in the due diligence team's report. Comments are linked to sections and questions and investor viewpoints, so you can tell who raised the initial question and follow a threaded discussion between the team members and the company as the questions are answered and resolved. The due diligence report app summarizes the due diligence report at different levels of detail. There are 5 tabs: an overview, the due diligence summary, a summary of the reasons to invest in risks and how the risks can be mitigated, the details of the company's submission, a full report that combines all these things plus some other commentary, and the data room.